Well, we begin with breaking news out of the UK this morning. Its government will recognise the state of Palestine unless Israel agrees to a ceasefire in Gaza. The Prime Minister, Sir Keir Starmer, announced his country will join France in recognising a Palestinian state at the United Nations in September.
I can confirm the UK will recognise the state of Palestine by the United Nations General Assembly in September, unless the Israeli government takes substantive steps to end the appalling situation in Gaza, agree to a ceasefire and commit to a long-term sustainable peace, reviving the prospect of a two-state solution.
Israel condemned the move, its foreign minister saying Israel rejects the statement by the Prime Minister of the United Kingdom. The shift in the British government's position at this time, following the French move and internal political pressures, constitutes a reward for Hamas and harms efforts to achieve a ceasefire in Gaza and a framework for the release of hostages. The US President Donald Trump agreed with Israel, saying he does not support the recognition of a Palestinian state.
You know, you're rewarding Hamas if you do that, and I don't think they should be rewarded. So I'm not in that camp, to be honest. We'll let you know where we are, but I am not in that camp. Because if you do that, you really are rewarding Hamas, and I'm not about to do that.
Sky's John Craig has more now from Downing Street.
He has bowed to the pressure from those 250 or so MPs, most of whom were Labour, who were calling for this recognition to come actually at the conference this week where David Lammy has been speaking. So we've already heard from, in the last few minutes, from Sarah Champion. She's the MP who wrote the letter, chairs the International Development Committee, all-party committee. And she's delighted, as you might expect, although she's a bit concerned about those conditions, 4 of them. The 4 conditions are, just to summarise them briefly, 1, end the appalling situation in Gaza, 2, a ceasefire, 3, no annexation in the West Bank, and 4, a long-term peace process that delivers a two-state solution. Well, we've heard how hostile the Israeli reaction is, so it's not doesn't bode too well for that happening. Now, from political opponents, yes, political posturing, says Kemi Badenoch. Appeasing his backbenchers, says Priti Patel, the Shadow Foreign Secretary. Now, from Sir Ed Davey, who signed that Sarah Champion letter, along with plenty of others, he says it's a good thing, but he's worried that it's being used as a bargaining chip. Yes, he's probably right about that. It does look that way. Now, the other pressure, of course, came from inside the Cabinet. The Prime Minister referred, when he was speaking to journalists this afternoon, about the Cabinet meeting. It's reported, it's estimated, that at least 7 Cabinet Ministers, including big hitters like the Deputy Prime Minister Angela Rayner and indeed the Foreign Secretary, were calling for this move. Then, of course, there was the pressure from Emmanuel Macron at the weekend, and he said that his country would recognise it at the General Assembly in September in New York, UN General Assembly. But it is significant that President Trump, who seemed to be getting on so well with the Prime Minister up in Scotland, as when he was asked, did the PM discuss it with you? We never did discuss it, he told reporters on Air Force One. The Prime Minister did call Benjamin Netanyahu today to tell him. He's also spoken to the King of Jordan. He's due to make more phone calls to try and sell this package. But politically, well, back home amongst his political opponents, it's gone down badly. He's pleased Labour MPs, and the suspicion is that it looks a bit more like party management.